YouTube, what's going on? This preacher. So, this when I was at the TA for my tires. I got drive tires, and that's how much it cost me right there. But then you see where it sells four drive tires, axle discover a wheel seal leak on the left front axle, but could not fix it due to lack of tools on tech's part. So yeah. So I wasn't gonna take no more loads, but broker called me and asked me, "Here's the new drive tires. I got 4 of them, and you see how dry it is, right?" I use Iron Mans. I don't know if y'all can see that. But I use Iron Mans. I got these right here. I don't know if y'all remember that, but I had got those like about 9 months ago now, when I had got those. So yeah, so the tech, they didn't have the tools for my wheel seal. So I was gonna just spend the whole weekend, but I was only sitting at 5,100 because I only did 3 loads, right? So I did 3 loads for 5,100 for the week, right? And that just wasn't gonna do it for me financially. I mean, that may be good for some of y'all with the 3 loads and stuff. So broker called me on Saturday when I was at the beach, and they asked if they couldn't find somebody to do the load, and I do these loads for them a lot. So then they asked me about the load, and I was like, well, yeah, I go ahead and do it. As y'all see, the wheel seal oil leak, it's not leaking that bad. You really can't tell. Like I said, only reason why the tech was able to tell, because he took the wheels off and it's just not starting to leak. So I was like, okay, it's just 190 miles. And it's paying $900 for the 190 miles. So I went on ahead and just knocked this out real quick. I picked the load up at 9 o'clock. It is now 1:30, and I'm getting the load off me as we speak. And I'm finna head home. Like, what time is it now? It is 1:58. So it's a quick $900. You know what I'm saying? It's a quick $900. I typically try to make $1,000 a day. I average $1,500 to $1,700 a day. That's what I average. But my goal is $1,000 a day at least. So by the end of the week, if I just worked 5 days, I got my $6,300, and I'm cool with 4 loads. I'm cool with that, with my 63 with 4 loads. I've been doing the extra runs on the weekends to get me up to like 75, between 75 and 8,000. So this week, because I only had 3 loads, I was sitting at 5,100 for those 3 loads. Yes, I know, that's more than $1,500 a day. Okay, I get that, but my plan is to do at least $1,000 a day. As long as I'm averaging $1,000 a day, I'm good, right? I'm cool. I average a lot more than that, but my minimum is $1,000 a day. And that's the average. That don't mean every single load got to be $1,000. Okay, it's an average by the week. So at the end of the week, my average is over the $1,000. Because some of the loads I do is for $500. Some of the loads I do is for $750. Some loads I do is for $850. But like my last load that I had, it went from Georgia to Florida, and it paid me $26.50 for that load. You know, and then the other load that I had going from Carolina to Georgia, that paid me $1,200. And then the load that I had coming from Florida to Carolina, that was $1,250. So, you know, that's when you sit. So when you sitting like that, you know, you really can't complain too much. I'm averaging over my $1,000 a day, and then the miles, it really wasn't no miles. Okay, so even like this week, I'm doing $6,000 this week, but out for $6,000, I only went 2,100 miles for the $6,000. You know, I like to do shorter runs that pays a lot because fuel costs a lot. And even when I was in South Carolina, right, I tried to fill up at the TA in Richmond Hills, right, on 95. They was out of diesel. I'm like, what? That was crazy, right? They was out of diesel. I'm like, man, this sucks, right? But, you know, it's a Love's in Richmond Hill, too. The next exit north of that exit. So I had to fill up there. My fuel lines that I had, you know, was busted all out. So what I did was, see there? Yeah. Right there. I had took my fuel lines out so I can get new fuel lines made, because I was off of one tank taking me 500 miles. I could get more, but you know, I don't like to run my tanks way low. I don't like to run them so low. So I got my fuel lines getting made. They was actually made and ready to go on Thursday when I was getting the tires put on, but TA couldn't do it, the wheel seal. So I had to call my mechanic, and I was like, hey, even my mechanic, he had some tires too. You know, he had some good drive tires, but I already set everything up with the TA and stuff, right, the appointment and everything. And then he couldn't get my tires on right then and there. I was like, nah, I need to go ahead and get them on. So he was getting the fuel lines when I was getting my tires on. I was supposed to met him back at 3 o'clock, but when they was talking about the wheel seal, and then they couldn't do it, and I'm like, well, come back. So then I say, okay, I'm gonna come back, because the other mechanic coming in that night. So then they had called me and be like, yeah, he ain't coming in, so we don't have nobody that could do it now. I'm like, well, okay, cool. It's just Thursday, right? So then Friday come around, they don't got the wheel seal. Oh, we had used the last one the night before. I'm like, what? How you just used the last one the night before, and you was telling me that, you know, you didn't have the tools, and then you telling me that the other mechanic came in after him, but then he had it, but then somebody else. So now we get inside of Saturday, right? And then all the places is closed where they could get me a wheel seal from. I'm like, you know, whatever. You know, it's whatever. So I got to get my DOT inspection on Monday too. So he was gonna do my mechanic was gonna do my DOT inspection and my fuel lines. So now he's gonna do my wheel seals too. You know, so I was like, okay, cool. He's gonna do my wheel seals, DOT inspection, and my fuel lines. And you know, I'm gonna be on the road ready to go for this blitz we got coming up. So that's the plan. You know, that's the plan anyway. All done?
Man, that's it, man.
All right, man.
All right, man. You have a good one.
You too, man. Thank you very much. All right. So I'm done at 2:04. All right, it's an hour ride home. I should be home by 3:04. I'll be home. and I'm good to go for the rest of the day. You know, hey, 6 hours. Well, actually, it's more than 6 hours because I had to get there. But basically, an 8-hour day, $900. I'm done and over with. I just missed out on church for the day and stuff like this. Finna go home and enjoy the rest of my day. That's how we do it. But you know, I didn't have the money for the new tires, but my tires was about time, right? They was about time. They was down to 6. The lowest one was down to 4. The highest one was at a 7 now. Okay, so yeah, it was time, man. It was time. So got to start up my baby. So it was time. So I had to come out the pocket, man. That's $1,600, but then the fuel line's gonna run me another $150. The DOT inspection is $85 for the D, and then I got to get the wheel seal and stuff done. So I'm probably gonna come out the pocket another $500 on Monday. That's $2,200 that I didn't have, especially in this market. But you know what? I'm still making a little money. It's a benefit to have your truck paid off. But even though you ain't making that much money, you got to keep your money maker up and going. And you got to keep your money maker running. So you got to spend money to make money. All right, I'll talk to y'all later.